I want to see how the Pacers owner reacts to that. If he keeps everybody, this is kind of like one of these lost seasons because if they lost their best player, Tyrese Haliburton, to injury. If you look at the way the Celtics kind of reacted to Jason Tatum, they did a fire sale, man.
They
They
did.
did it right from the outset, right?
They did.
Everybody was just gone, right? Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Cornett, all gone, right? And then that was their way of kind of dealing with it. But now the Pacers, they're dealing with the same scenario, right? And they have pretty much everybody intact except for Myles Turner, of course, and of course Tyrese Haliburton, right? So, but they still have decent players on this team. So, what's going to happen come trade deadline? And they haven't really made any movement up the rankings, right? Are they going to just say, is ownership and the fans, are they going to be like clamoring, to do something, or are they just going to reassure their fan base saying, hey, we're staying pat because this is kind of a lost season. We're going to develop some of our young guys, right? And we all know this is what's going to potentially going to happen, but it'll be interesting how they handle it. What are your thoughts, man?
One of the things that I would, one of the key differences that I see between Boston and Indiana is Boston won a championship, and that really allows them to have a fire sale because they're like, hey, we got our two key pieces, which are Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Yep.
We've got a couple of kind of complementary pieces that we haven't gotten rid of. And so I think for them, it's easier to kind of save on the cap, rebuild, and do that. With Indiana, it's different. I wouldn't do anything if I was them. I'd wait till next year because here's the thing. Haliburton had a hell of a year last year. But what we don't know was that a one-off? Is he the man? Can he repeat it? There's a lot of questions. And so if you assume he's the man and you take on other contracts and he's not, then you kind of screwed yourself. If you leave the team as is and see, and that's the other thing too, he's going to come back next year and it's going to probably take him a half to a 3/4 of a season to just get back to where he was.
To be confident enough to play the same manner that he did, right?
So you really have lost 2 seasons, right? Yep. And I have to look up, I don't know what the salary situation is for like Art and some of those other key players. Like, are they looking for raises? Or do they have contract renewals? I have to look that up. But, you got to kind of take care of that. But if possible, if I'm Indiana, I'm leaving everything as is and see what we got towards the end of next season.
Yeah. I think they should keep everybody in touch. They shouldn't do a fire sale. I mean, they were in the finals last year, right? And the best player is out. But I guess you wouldn't expect this team to be as bad as it's shown, right? They only have, what is it? They only have 2 wins, and one of them against our Warriors, by the way, right? So they've only had 2 wins to this point, and that's very surprising to a team that was in the finals last year. All right, so kind of
so it is. But let me ask you this, Eddie: why do you think they're so bad?
Oh man, you know what? It's probably that they don't have somebody like they don't have a backup point guard that is similar to what Tyrese Haliburton does. They have TJ McConnell, but he's a different kind. He's a change of pace kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
They could put Andrew Nembhard there too. I don't know. They seem to have lost their I don't want to say their focus, but their identity a little bit.
Yep.
They seem to suffer some identity crisis right now.
You're thinking that the main reason is the loss of Haliburton. Haliburton makes that engine go. Well, I'm going to say, they lost both their leaders, right? They lost their kind of like veteran leadership in Myles Turner, right? Yeah. He was the guy who had been there, had done it before. He was kind of their big man that, could do multitude of kind of the dirty work and was there. And then they lost Haliburton, which was their star,
Yeah.
And so those two things are a huge loss. I mean, if I look at, just to relate it to the Warriors or, any other team, if you lose Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, that's it. What good are the Warriors? If you lose, obviously you can't do that for Orlando, but if Houston lost Şengün and Durant, what are we talking about? They are a lot worse than I thought they would be. I mean, they're really, really bad.
Yeah.
But they did take a big hit. Those 2 pieces were their best 2 pieces, I would argue, because some other players played better in the playoffs, but those were their 2 solid, their cornerstones.
Yeah. But then you have you also have a champion on the team in Pascal Siakam.
Correct.
Right. You would think that, having him, having, Neesmith, having Nembhard, having McConnell, having, Isaiah Jackson, who came back from an Achilles last year. I'm sure I'm missing a few others, but these are the guys, right? Oh, Ben Mathurin. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are all good.
I agree. But if you remember with Siakam, the year after they won the championship, Siakam was kind of a shell of himself, which is really why he got traded. He wasn't really so he seems like a player that's emotionally tied to how good the team is. If the team is better, he does better. If the team is kind of crappy, he kind of falls.
Like he doesn't lift the team up, is what you're saying.
He doesn't. Yeah, he just kind of follows suit. So when he helps, and when they suck, he sucks. Just looking at historically at what he's done, because when Toronto, after Kawhi left, they were okay for a year or two, and then they just started to get worse.
Yeah, no, that's a good call, man.
Yeah, too much there.
It's possible that is a big contributing factor, is that once their superstar guy went out, nobody else was there to kind of help steer the ship in the right direction. And Pascal Siakam is that guy. He should be that guy. But, he might be just one of these types that doesn't want to assert himself as a leader. He's kind of always been the other guy.
Hey everybody, this is Big John from Grumblings Media, and I just want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our efforts here at Grumblings Media, just smash the subscribe button right here, totally free, or just go ahead and consume more of our great content. Click either one of these two boxes.